Introducing first, he weighs in at 235 pounds, fighting out of Strasburg, Pennsylvania. He is professional wrestling, the Mat Wrestling Machine, Tim fucking Dust! He weighs in at 225 pounds, fighting out of Metropolis, ladies and gentlemen, Chris Hero!
There's the bell, off and running. Leonard F. Chikarason being joined by Matt Wadsworth. A first time ever encounter as Chris Hero takes on Tim Donst.
Well, not only first time ever, but as Tim Donst has been so quick to point out, teacher versus student. Tim Donst, of course, so well known here at AIW, as well as his original home in Chikara, has gotten so much accomplished in professional wrestling. But even he remembers where it all started in that gym with Chris Hero, a man who he's never met one-on-one. Chris Hero, of course, only making his second appearance in Absolute Intense Wrestling.
That's right, I got a chance to talk to both these men for an extended period of time earlier in the day. And look at that, a bit of show of respect there from Donst. Again, Donst isn't, he might have got a little agitated in that interview you saw earlier with him on, if you're watching this through Smart Mark Video, our good friends there. He wants to prove himself to Chris Hero, to show what Chris Hero taught him at the Wrestle Factory. It wasn't for naught. Essentially, Tim Donst over the last couple of years, especially here in AIW, has proven to the wrestling world that no matter who he is put in the ring against, he comes out victorious, hoping to do the same here against Chris Hero.
Well, indeed, Tim Donst, in very recent times here in AIW, has had a chip on his shoulder, has felt he had something to prove, felt he could go with anyone, and that included, of course, recently the superstar Michael Hutter, the deviant Michael Hutter, who returned home and had a less than thrilling homecoming. But Tim Donst, in flat out fighting Hutter, has gained his respect. Now he's going to have to out-wrestle Chris Hero.
That's right, believe me, Chris Hero did his homework. He's been busier over the last month than he has been in the last 2 years or so. He definitely did his homework on Tim Donst coming into this contest. And he knows if he gets into a brawl, if he gets into a slugfest with Tim Donst, who calls himself the Mat Wrestling Machine, and there you see Hero in the defensive posture, keeping a wide base, also keeping his eye on his opponent in Tim Donst.
Well, and I think that has become very easily forgotten, especially here by the fans of Absolute Intense Wrestling. Tim Donst has almost become known as a brawler. He's gained that edge to him, Leonard. He's become more of just likely to engage in just throwing fists as much as takedowns and wrist locks. But there's a reason he's called the Mat Wrestling Machine. He was one of the top technical wrestlers in independent professional wrestling when he started out his career. Something he's gotten away from and something he has to prove tonight. Not only is he trying to prove that he is just as good as the man who taught him everything he knows in Chris Hero, but that he is just as good in the technical wrestling game and that he is one of the best in the world. And if you're going to prove that, Chris Hero is one of those men to prove it again. Chris Hero, without a doubt, one of the best mat wrestlers, one of the best at the catch-as-catch-can style.
Again, Chris Hero, world-renowned. He's held titles in every country and every promotion that he's wrestled in. He's very well known in Japan, Germany, Europe. He's a little infamous in Australia. Nonetheless, Donst doesn't care about any of that. All Donst looks at is, this is the man who 8 years ago started my training, and tonight in AIW, I'm going to show him what he trained me to do, I am now better than him at.
Well, and Chris Hero, as I said, making his second appearance here in Absolute Intense Wrestling. Obviously, Tim Donst has made this his home. Chris Hero has only appeared once before, and I had the privilege of calling that match as I do today. And let me tell you, Leonard, to this day, it stands up as one of the, if not the best matchup I have ever witnessed live. I have ever had the privilege to commentate when I saw, again, a first-time ever encounter between Chris Hero and the man then known as Tyler Black, of course, now known around the world as Seth Rollins. The two of them put on a match for the ages. Chris Hero now making his return, and another first-time encounter, and Tim Donst has a lot to live up to.
And you see Donst here. Look at this. Donst trying to get inside the head of Chris Hero.
Well, and Hero thought he would show up here as the conquering hero, if you'll pardon the near pun. Thought he'd be welcomed with open arms, and obviously he has. But he has to realize, when I say that Tim Donst has made his home in AIW, it's a mutual thing. The AIW fans have taken to him. Just look at the reaction he got in battling a man who was returning home in Michael Hutter. Michael Hutter helped build this promotion, returned home, and found the fans split, many of them supporting Tim Donst instead. Chris Hero has to be aware that he can't let this crowd take him out of his game.
Well, you talk about taking out of his game, and Chris Hero, one of the more proficient technicians on the map, but also known for his striking game, changing things up now, going in with the kick, as we saw before, that he used to turn the tide on Donst. Now a series of elbow shots, and you see that heavily wrapped up, that heavily padded right elbow of Chris Hero that he has been known to knock people out with, the young knockout kid, as he was called for a time.
Well, and Leonard, let's point out, Chris Hero, by far in the best shape I have ever seen him.
Oh, definitely.
I have never seen this lean of a Chris Hero. And he's a man who, even when people doubted his physique, had one of the best gas tanks in professional wrestling.
That's right. There was a time where he was near 300 pounds, and he was wrestling matches 60, 70, 80, 90 minutes. Now you look at Chris Hero, about 225, if 230 at the most, and look at the speed that he connected with that basement drop kick, and look at the cover that you saw there. Innovative hook of the leg, hooked the knee, also hooked the ankle, put as much pressure as he could on the leg to attempt to keep Donst down, but not enough to keep Tim Donst down, as these fans here in Turner's Hall are firmly behind Tim Donst.
Well, I was going to say, not only, it's one thing, normally you'll see a veteran hook the leg, you'll see him pull it up towards him. He pulled it across his own body, so not only did Donst have to get the motion, get the force generated to kick out, he had to actually pull his leg away from Chris Hero to kick out. As you said, the torque, it was almost a submission put on that knee by Hero, and there you see Hero going to the eyes, going to the mouth, maybe getting a little desperate, maybe a little fed up with Tim Donst hanging with him so far.
You know, Donst has continued his education in the world of professional wrestling. Outside of that initial training that he had with Chris Hero and Mike Quackenbush all the way back in 2005, Chris Hero, someone who is nearly 13-year vet of the sport, continues to learn, as we see a little bit of the aggressiveness that maybe he learned from a William Regal, a Fit Finlay, a Dave Taylor, starting to come out here. Both men continuing to learn, continuing to get better. Donst wants this victory over Chris Hero in the worst way.
Well, and indeed, Leonard, you want to talk about the experience of Chris Hero, no doubt, and those of us here in Cleveland know it. I remember being a fan in this very building, watching a young, explosive Colt Cabana, CM Punk, and Chris Hero absolutely bringing down the house, and people talking about them after they walked out of here. And you can see why. You can see that experience, and Chris Hero has only gotten better since that. You listed off some of the names, some of the best in professional wrestling that he's had a chance to sit underneath and learn.
Now Hero a little slow to capitalize after that senton connected with Donst. Donst doing his best to try to get some distance between himself and Hero. Hero, though, there to capitalize. Referee Jake Clemens allowing this as Donst is in the ropes. Now trying to break it up, get some distance between both men here. Hero now with a series of knee strikes to the solar plexus of Tim Donst in the hopes to maybe knock some of the wind out of him, test his conditioning. Oh, look at that, avoided the knee by Donst. Very nicely done.
Then up and over the top, landing on his feet with that slingshot, almost a baseball slide style drop kick out of Hero. I was going to say, with those knees, with those strikes in the ropes, it almost seems like Hero's game plan seems to be to try to frustrate Tim Donst, to try to break him. I don't think it's going to be enough to beat him, but I think he wants to break him, wants to frustrate him, wants to get him off his game.
That chop will wake you up, lady in the 4th row.
And there you see Donst dragging himself across the guardrail, trying to get some separation. Hero, though, following him up with that big boot, looking to drive the wind out. That attack on the sternum, I'll tell you what, you get enough damage to that sternum, then it's going to compress your lung. You're going to bruise the lungs, bruise the ribs, and make it hard to breathe. But Donst firing back, but look at that knee lift on point. That knee lift hitting the jaw, hitting the face of Tim Donst. And now Hero bringing him up and just driving that boot. Look at him driving him by his throat down to the floor.
Donst trying to hold on for dear life there. We saw a little fire of offense come back out of Tim Donst on the floor, fighting for survival in this match. And it was from that kick when Hero changed up his strategy earlier in the contest from a more mat-based to a more striking-based offense that this match, for the better part of the last 5 minutes or so, has been all Chris Hero.
Well, and you have to wonder if that has thrown Tim Donst off his game plan. Leonard, we talked about early on the fact that it seemed like his game plan was to prove that he could go hold for hold, to prove that he could be just as good, that he was still the mat wrestling machine, that he hadn't forgotten what he learned all those years ago. But now Hero switching up to the striking, and that Donst almost more of a brawling style as opposed to that technical, strong style striking. Look at that corkscrew elbow, just snapping it off as Chris Hero.
And you hear Hero saying to Donst, with each movement, with each strike, with each attack, stay down, but Hero not going for a cover, just looking to dish out punishment at this point in the contest.
As I said, it almost seems like he's trying to break Donst's spirit as much as he has defeated him. Break his will. Look at that right hand to the jaw, and Donst is still standing. So you what, a lesser man would have been knocked out, and he catches him, spiking him with the, driving him back. Donst out of pure desperation.
Yeah, Donst definitely does not have the wherewithal at this point to capitalize on that. You got to wonder how much that took out of Hero. And you know, you see Hero, and this is a strange thing to bring up, but I'd be remiss not to. You see Hero has his hair back in a ponytail. He came down on the back of his head. That just adds extra pressure when you have your hair up like that. It's the little things, and again, it's not a mistake, but that really could have taken a lot more out of Hero than we initially thought. Maybe I was wrong. Hero with the reversal, Donst up and over. Hero on the apron, gets caught. Donst was going for it before. Connects with the belly-to-belly suplex over the top rope and into the ring.
But again, all of the damage he's taken, he's definitely slowing down Chris Hero, but Tim Donst taking a while to get back to his feet. He is feeling the effects, Leonard, but right now driving that lariat into the back of the head, now setting up German suplex with a bridge, but you notice he's slightly off center with that bridge as he's only able to get a 2 count, wasn't able to put all of his weight backwards like he would have liked.
Right, referee Jake Clemens should have double checked. It looked like Don's shoulders could have been down there as well, but he's focused on the shoulders of Hero for that attempt. That would have been very close. Donst now in control of the contest. Hero using the ropes to keep himself aloft.
I'll tell you, if nothing else, Tim Donst looks to be evening the tables. Hero with a very unlikely mistake, something you wouldn't expect to see on him as he dropped the head early. That lariat sends him over the top, and now it's Donst looking to capitalize, hitting the ropes, suicide dive, driving Hero into that guardrail.
And I'll tell you, that looked a little bit rough if you ask me, Matt. It looked like Donst might have caught his foot or his knee on the middle rope, but it was enough to connect and take Chris Hero out here on the floor of Turner's Hall.
Hero pulling himself up, Donst setting up, looked to be driving down, but eats a boot. Hero sees it coming, getting out of the way. You talked about Chris Hero doing his homework, obviously showing right there, as we saw a trademark out of Tim Donst. He loves to come off that ring apron, loves to try to inflict the punishment. Hero seeing it coming and getting out of the way.
And just like that, in the blink of an eye, Hero back in control of this contest. Referee Jake Clemens putting the count on both men. I would assume they have a 10 count on the floor here.
Obviously Clemens being a little lenient in his count, giving a little bit more space between the numbers.
Wow, and there's that knockout shot. I talked about it before.
And Hero rolling in. And I'll tell you what, Donst might just be out. Donst got knocked clean over the guardrail.
And Hero coming back into the ring, breaking the plane. Referee Jake Clemens starting his count again. And I don't know, I think I think this could be the end of Donst.
Down at ringside, this crowd letting their feelings be known. But you gotta think, they don't want to see this end in a countout. You want to see a definitive finish to this, Leonard.
Well, again, I think Hero looking to just get a victory. I think it's going to smart Tim Donst more if he loses by countout than clean in the middle of the ring with a pin or a submission.
And on the 9 count, he dives back in. Hero, though, not giving him time to recover. Catching with that boot. 1, 2, 3. And Donst managed to get the shoulder up, but even Chris Hero doesn't believe it. Thought the knockout blow that he followed up with that drop kick would be more than enough.
Not a very pretty pin attempt there by Hero, but very effective. Additional pressure put on the leg, additional pressure put on the neck, causing Donst pain to kick out of that attempt. Now Hero measuring his man. You got to be thinking, Matt, he's got to be going for another shot with that forearm.
And driving it into the side of the head, but Donst coming up with that elbow as he hits the ropes. Hero with the
wow! Right in the mush.
Wait, Donst right behind him.
Diamond cutter. I call it a diamond cutter.
Ace crusher. Diamond cutter, call it what you want, and it's just as effective. Tim Donst, and the momentum he had, slingshotting himself off the ropes, but still unable to get the 3 count.
And you see Hero raising his hand, just trying to reach outstretched, maybe trying to just be aware of his own ring positioning. And now what is Donst looking to go for here? Could it be? He's looking to put him in the Chikara special, a move Chris Hero knows very well, but also a move that Chris Hero knows the counter to, as you see him here.
Indeed, Hero bringing the boot up, keeping it from being cinched in.
And that seemed just to more infuriate Hero more.
Absolutely. Did you hear the impact between the shoulder blades into the spine? Just driving the boot into the spine, into the shoulders, into the head. Now setting up.
Wow.
And look at Donst slump his legs out. I mean, the man's unconscious. This is just elementary. 2, 3.
A kick out, but just barely. Not a lot of momentum, not a lot of strength behind that kick out, but a kick out nonetheless. And to the disbelief of Chris Hero, this match continues.
I disbelieve of a whole lot of people. Did you see the way Donst slumped to the mat? I mean, that was the action of a man who's lost his facilities, Leonard. He was unconscious, I have no doubt about it. Even if it was just a split second before he hit the mat, Tim Donst was out, and that boot to the head man just put him out for a second time. 1, 2, 3.
Maybe Hero getting a little too confident. Maybe Hero getting a little bit too cocky. Not hooking the leg on either one of those pin attempts. And now Donst back up to his feet. Series of forearms, a chop into the ropes. And gets leveled with a kick by Hero, but he's back up to his feet.
Donst right back up, backdrop driver, back suplex. Call it what you want, spiking him on his head. Now setting up.
Turn him over with that gator roll.
The gator roll only able to 2, but he floats over. Floating over into the submission.
He's got him, sorry to interrupt you, he's got him locked in. The from dust till Donst. This is the move that he made Michael Hutter tap out just a month ago.
But now rolling him up, rolls her up 2, 3.
I can't believe it!
And even Chris Hero can't believe it.
Hello, this is Tyler Black, and check me out at AIWrestling.com. If you haven't been to a live show, I've been there 13 times, so pick up all the DVDs. Again, Tyler Black, AIWrestling.com.
Katie Arquette, of course, we saw come back to AIW earlier this year. And she has been on a little bit of a winning streak. We saw her win that 3-way at Fresh Meat. She, in terms of competing against other females, is on a 2-match winning streak. Brookside, as I said, making her AIW debut, but the 24-year-old, 8-year veteran is certainly no stranger to the ring.
Oh, took off Derek Dillinger's hat. Let's go.
Growing up the daughter of a UK legend, Robbie Brookside. Currently a trainer down at NXT, where she also spent time with NXT UK, and in fact competed in the 2018 Mae Young Classic, losing in the first round to current WWE Women's Champion Io Sky.
Zaya Brookside, very storied career in her young career. 8 years, wrestled some of the best on television.
But not backing down from Katie Arquette. Grabs that side headlock as Katie charges in. Takes her right down on the mat. Katie's going to want to use the size advantage she has here. But in the meantime, beautiful snap off on that headlock takeover by Brookside.
You see Derek trying to push the ropes to Katie. And Katie's in the middle of the ring. Derek just, I think he's bled out brain cells at this point.
Trying to intimidate Zaya Brookside. She's not having any of it. There's one more time. Katie goes to the hair.
Oh.
Drags Zaya back into that head scissors. Zaya trying to crawl through, trying to loosen it up.
Wiggling out, maybe. Headstand.
Bringing it up, kicking those feet. Katie trying to push her backwards. Keep her from getting back to her. And she kicks her way free, back up to her feet.
Give her a little wiggle.
Now coming in this time, it's Katie Arquette changing levels. Rear waist lock, takedown. She threw her down so hard, Zaya Brookside's face bounced off the mat. And now the shots to the back of the head. In case you wonder why she and Derek Dillinger have formed such a tight alliance.
Couple real pieces of shit there, Wadsworth.
Very similar. Derek Dillinger very worried with Tom Dunn asking Zaya Brookside if she gives up, despite telling Tom Dunn to not even bother asking Katie while she was in the exact same situation.
Derek saying no. Oh, flipping
Zaya
through.
uses the top rope to roll through, reverse that wrist lock, and then eats a forearm shot.
Right through the chin. Zaya getting the boot up. Zaya calling her in, catches her.
Jumps up, head scissors, takedown. Single leg drop kick from Zaya Brookside. Back up to her feet, waiting for Katie. Crossbody takes her down. Hook in the legs, 2 count only.
Zaya, not a very big human being, but using all of her size that she does have to take out, knock Arquette off of her feet.
Arquette on the ring apron. Tom Dunn administering the count.
Derek trying to cool down Katie with the clapboard.
Apparently the on-set working conditions are not to her liking.
Bringing Zaya across that middle rope.
Now rear waistlock, snapping off the German suplex. Drags Zaya back down, cover, hook in the leg, 2 count only.
Only a 2 count. Try to drive Zaya Brookside through the mat there on that German.
Oh, a kick from Arquette. Back of the head, she's got Zaya up, drives her into that top turnbuckle. Knife edge chop in the corner. And now mocking Brookside, which gives Brookside time. Zaya fires out of the corner, but not enough to get the advantage back.
Katie going for a suplex.
Snap suplex there by Arquette, floats over. Hooks the leg, 2 count only.
Katie being very smart, taking every time she hits a move, goes right to the pin.
Versus Brookside, not only does it not give her time to recover from the impact, but she is also forced to exert even more energy to kick out of it at the same time. Now rear chin lock cinched in.
This crowd's starting to get behind Zaya. Getting her up. Toss to the midsection. Oof.
Just slammed down on the back of the head by Katie Arquette.
Zaya Brookside over there in no man's land. Derek Dillinger.
Yep.
Tom Dunn not paying any attention.
Katie Arquette has learned very quickly how to utilize those numbers games that comes from Dillinger at ringside. You know, if that tells you anything about this new state of the production, it was a very one-way relationship with Ziggy Haim. She was constantly at ringside for Derek, but you could probably count on one hand the number of times you saw Derek at ringside for Ziggy Heim. Here in the first match with Katie Arquette in the production, and he is ringside and involving himself in it.
That's very true. Maybe he learned from his past mistakes. Trying to learn how to make a woman happy.
He's got that knee planted between the shoulder blades. Just cranking back Arquette. But Zaya Brookside working her way back to her feet. Couple of back elbows. Katie ducks under, short arm clothesline. There's the cover. The hook in the leg, 2 and only 2.
Only a 2 count. Almost took off Zaya Brookside's head with that clothesline. Zaya Brookside in a bad way right now.
Katie's got her in the corner, shoulder to the midsection, and another one. Whip across, Brookside hard on the buckles. Katie follows in. Back elbow. Drops Brookside down. Looking for that hip attack in the corner. Oh! Driving hard into Zaya Brookside while Brookside is pinned against that bottom turnbuckle.
Zaya's head bouncing like a basketball.
Just lifted out of the corner right into that Samoan drop. Cover, hook in the leg, still only able to get 2 out of it.
Zaya Brookside not gonna be taken out that easily.
Cat very upset with the count of Tom Dunn. Now lining up one more time. We saw that hip attack, looking for take 2, but this time Zaya Brookside is ready for it. There's a clothesline out of the corner and another one.
Zaya is finding her second win.
Up, spinning head scissors takedown by Zaya Brookside. Sarah Cat in that far side, driving in with the knees.
Rolls her back.
Floating reverse neck breaker out of the corner. There's the cover, hook in the leg by Brookside, but she is only able to get 2.
Only gets 2. Goes for it again. Only 2 again. Derek Dillinger is halfway in the ring trying to save Katie Arquette.
Meanwhile, Brookside pulling Arquette back to her feet as those arms cinched up, but Katie, I said it earlier, she's got that size advantage, looks for the clothesline. Zaya underneath, forearm shot to the back. This time there is no rolling through. Just snapping her spine first over the feet. Cover, hook in the leg, 2. But Arquette grabs that bottom rope.
Arquette was out. She looked up and all she saw was that rope reach right for it. It was all instinct, Wadsworth. She is out. Derek Dillinger trying to get in Zaya's head.
Taunting Zaya Brookside. Brookside throws the kick at him.
Wish we would have kicked him in the face.
Oh, speaking of shot to the face, that forearm driving through. Spine buster by Arquette. Arquette stacks her up 2-0.
1, 2, tried it again.
Still only able to get 2. Now one more time, drives back in, another 2 count, still only good for 2.
Zaya wasn't much, but took all that energy with each kick out. It seemed like she was taking more and more energy out of her.
Arquette to her feet. Setting up in the corner, what does she have in mind here? Pulls herself up. First turnbuckle, now up to the second.
Second turnbuckle.
Sitting at the top, but Brookside up, forearm shot. Double overhand chop out of Zaya. Now looking to drag Katie out of the corner. Katie kicks her away.
Derek right there.
And now Derek getting up on the ring apron. Zaya Brookside going after him, but it allows Katie to use that clapboard. Follows it up with the spear, cover, hooks the legs, 2, 3.
Hate to see it, Wadsworth.
Here is your winner, Katie Arquette.
And in Katie Arquette's production debut,